Good evening, I'm Camelia and this is KiniNews. The Human Resources Ministry has stepped in to help migrants that were duped after a recent case made headlines. Its minister vowed that they will not hesitate to take stern action against those found guilty.
The Human Resources Ministry will summon an agency involved in recruiting 171 migrant workers from Bangladesh but failed to find them jobs after 3 months here. Its Minister Stephen Sim told Malaysiakini further investigations will be conducted this week on the agency and stern action will be taken against those found guilty. Yesterday, Kota Tinggi District Police Chief Hussin Zamora reportedly confirmed the arrest of the workers who have been held under immigration custody since December 20th. Hussin was quoted by the Star as saying that the workers were legally brought into Malaysia but their agent has yet to provide them with work after 3 months. He said the Bangladeshi nationals decided to walk to the Bayu Damai police station about 10 kilometers away from their accommodation to lodge a police report on December 20th. However, they did not manage to lodge a police report after it was discovered that their agent had yet to find suitable employment for them. Citing the Johor case, Sim said he had instructed his ministry to assist the workers to find jobs here on humanitarian grounds, given that this matter is beyond the purview of the Human Resources Ministry. At the same time, Sim said he will be meeting Home Minister Saifuddin Nasution Ismail to improve policies related to migrant workers. Meanwhile, Pengerang MP Azalina Othman Said has called for immediate investigations against those who duped the migrant workers. Azalina, who is Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Law and Institutional Reform, said violation on human rights should not be tolerated, including in the business sector. Klang MP Charles Santiago also commented on the issue. In a posting on X, Charles urged authorities against going after the workers, whom he described as victims. Charles added that the police should investigate whether there are elements of collusion between agents and the local authorities.
Meanwhile, de facto Law Minister Azalina Othman Said has also called for action to be taken against irresponsible agents in the migrant workers issue. Azalina said violations of human rights should not be tolerated.
Azalina Othman Said has called for immediate investigation into the recruitment agents responsible for duping migrant workers to secure jobs that were not available. The minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Law and Institutional Reform posted on X that the culprits must be held accountable, especially those who issued permits with no jobs available. This came following reports that the police arrested a group of 171 Bangladeshi men who were walking in a large group in Pengerang, Johor, as captured in a video that went viral. According to Bernama, Kota Tinggi District Police Chief Superintendent Hussin Zamora had said that a group of Bangladeshi men walked towards the Bayu Damai police station to press charges against their agents as they claimed that they had yet to be employed after 3 to 6 months. Azalina, who is the MP of Pengerang, said she was told that about 2,500 migrant workers who were duped are in her constituency. She stressed that we must not tolerate violations of human rights, including in the business sector, and it is time to take firm action against irresponsible businesses. At the same time, Azalina also commended the Human Resources Minister, Stephen Sim Chi Kyong, for helping the men find jobs on humanitarian grounds, given that this matter is beyond the purview of his ministry. Previously, it was reported that Sim said his ministry would summon an agency involved in recruiting 171 migrant workers from Bangladesh but failed to find them employment after 3 months here. He said further investigations will be conducted on the agency and they will not hesitate to take stern action against those found guilty.
The siege for Palestine protest outside the US Embassy in KL begins tonight. It involves pro-Palestinian groups in Malaysia who are seeking to pressure the US after it vetoed efforts for a ceasefire in Gaza.
Several activists, civil society organizations, student groups, and the youth wings of various political parties, including PAS and DAP, have planned a 6-day blockade of the US Embassy in Kuala Lumpur. This came after the US vetoed efforts by the UN to push for a ceasefire in Gaza. In a statement, the group dubbed Secretariat Solidarity Palestine said the rally will be held peacefully with open tents throughout the picket, besides holding solidarity events each night and erecting flags and symbols of the Palestinian struggle. The blockade will begin tonight, with the demonstrators set to assemble at around 10 p.m. A mega rally will also be held as the grand finale on December 31st. Among the groups involved are the Malaysian Consultative Council of Islamic Organisations, MAPIM, Sisters in Islam, Bersih, the Malaysian Punjabi Youth Movement, the various university wings of political parties, MUDA, PSM, Perjuang, and the youth wings of PAS, PKR, Amanah, Bersatu, and DAP. The group said their demands include calling for an end to the indiscriminate killing of Palestinians, especially women and children, an unconditional ceasefire, an end to genocide, a stop to fighting to address civilian needs for aid or shelter, and recognition of Palestinians' rights to a sovereign nation. Earlier this month, the US vetoed a UN Security Council draft resolution calling for humanitarian ceasefire in Gaza. Last week, it threatened to veto another draft resolution which forced the Security Council to water down the resolution's language, calling for urgent action to step up humanitarian aid instead of a ceasefire. Meanwhile, Wang Semaju District Police Chief Azhari Abu Sama said police have not received any application from the rally organisers. He told Malaysiakini police will take security measures to prevent any untoward incidents and follow-up actions will be taken according to the law.
The Apex Court will hear the leave application from the duo seeking to overturn a ban on the book Gay is Okay, A Christian Perspective.
The publisher and writer of the book Gay is Okay, A Christian Perspective have filed an application to the federal court seeking leave to remove a ban on the book imposed by the government. Lawyer Edmund Bon Tai Soon, who acted for Gerak Budaya publisher Chong Ton Sin and author Nyo Boon Lin, said 11 legal and constitutional questions had been filed to obtain leave from the federal court for the merit of the complaint to be heard. He added the leave application will be heard on February 28th next year. This follows the ruling on September 25th by the Court of Appeal, which allowed Home Minister Saifuddin Nasution Ismail and the government's appeal to reinstate its order to ban the said book. In a 3-member panel of judges comprising Aziza Nawawi, M. Gunalan and Wong Kian Keong, Aziza and Wong made the majority decision in favour of the Home Minister and the government, while Gunalan dissented. According to Bernama, Wong said he and Aziza had gone through the contents of the book and its title and on an objective evaluation was satisfied that the book's entire contents and its title gave a general message that the lifestyle of homosexuality is not prohibited by Christianity. He added the judges who decided the majority decision were satisfied that a reasonable minister would reach the decision of the likelihood of the book being prejudicial to public order, morality and public interest. On February 22nd last year, the KL High Court allowed a judicial review brought by the duo to quash the order issued by the Home Minister to ban the book. The High Court lifted the ban, prompting the Home Minister and the government to appeal at the Court of Appeal.
Rafizi believes a law to restrict business owners from abusing their licenses could eliminate rent-seeking practices. He said the anti-Alibaba legislation, as it is known, will allow action to be taken against the Malaysians who give Alibaba licenses to migrant workers without meeting the conditions.
Economy Minister Rafizi Ramli said a proposed anti-Alibaba legislation to end rent-seeking practices can be used against business owners who abuse their licenses. He said he believes this will reduce the influx of foreign-controlled establishments in the city centre. Rafizi said this in a post on X in response to a netizen who had raised concerns over an influx of foreigners benefiting from government subsidies or facilities intended for citizens. He said the anti-Alibaba legislation will allow for action to be taken against Malaysians who give Alibaba licenses to migrant workers without meeting the conditions. Rafizi also stressed that this is a national issue, not an issue of migrant workers. Elaborating, he said it started because of our dependence on migrant workers, as locals don't want to do such jobs within certain sectors. According to him, the anti-Alibaba law would be a part of overall labour market reforms, which include progressive wages, industrial training and finalising a multi-tiered levy system to bring down the number of migrant workers. Rafizi added he will finalize its goal of reducing migrant workers through phases by 2030 in the 13th Malaysia Plan. On December 21st, a total of 1,101 foreign nationals were detained for various immigration offences under an integrated operation involving several enforcement agencies around Jalan Silang, Kuala Lumpur. In July, Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim indicated the government's plan to end rent-seeking practices that negatively impact the economy, causing an estimated 1% of losses to the GDP.
A social media influencer has apologized for misinformation relating to a mosque thief. The individual had previously claimed that the thief was a former leader in PAS.
PAS Youth Chief Afnan Hamimi Taib Azamuddin has responded to claims on social media regarding an alleged mosque thief being from his party. He reportedly said that he had checked with his state counterpart Kamal Muhammad, who confirmed that the individual shown in the video had never been a party youth chief. Afnan was quoted by FMT as saying, "This has nothing to do with PAS. If he is guilty, he should be punished." Recently, a post on X by a social media influencer went viral when she claimed that a man caught stealing money from a mosque in Tumpat, Kelantan was a former PAS youth chief. The individual, believed to be a pro-government supporter, has since apologized for the misinformation. Afnan said PAS is considering taking legal action against the individual over the allegation.
And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to KiniTv.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. If you'd like to support independent media, do consider subscribing to Malaysiakini.com. I'm Kimilia. Thanks for watching.